From the National Weather Service in Raleigh, it's Nick Petro with your tropical storm Debby update here as of 5:30 this Wednesday, August the 7th. This is our 10th briefing in the series. And what has changed? Basically, we're continuing the decrease, although subtle decrease in the rainfall totals. We have tweaked the timing graphic that everybody likes, the one that shows the timeline. And then with a little bit lower rainfall totals, we lowered the flood hydrographs, the river flooding, which I think is going to be good news to all. So real quick, here's a look at the latest radar loop, and we could see this again as of 5:30. And as I put it in motion here, you could see there are some flash flood warnings now coming out associated with this band right here of heavy rain that's starting to take shape here across southeast North Carolina, and that is rotating in and northward and lifting northward. This is the band of rain that we're going to watch develop and expand over the evening hours and overnight tonight. So that's the current case. Let's see what else I wanted to show real quick. The current observations, and right now with that band of rain, you could see there are several gusts in the 30s. There's even a gust of 42 offshore. So as this band continues to develop and push northward this evening and overnight tonight, that's the kind of wind gusts that we're gonna see in this band. 30 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts. So, I'm hearing reports of some trees down, closer to the coast where there had been some, higher gusts in this range already. So we know that this band will be capable, 35 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts coupled with wet ground can easily knock down some trees. So I do expect some power outages. As we look at the rainfall amounts during the last, let's say, hour or so, associated with this band to get an idea of how heavy this rain is. A couple things I want to point out. Here's 3/4 inch amounts nearly. So associated with these yellow and dark green, there's a 1/2 inch amount, a 0.38 inch amount. So so when these heavier bands, the yellows and the greens, finally push northward, we are expecting it to lift north throughout the evening and overnight tonight. Do expect rainfall rates, which are the drivers mainly for flash flooding, to definitely be high enough to result in some localized flash flooding. So again, this band here capable of producing, where the rates are the highest, some localized flash flooding when it pushes north across central North Carolina. This band that's running out ahead of it, we're seeing reports generally less than 1/4 inch of rain per hour. So right at the moment, I'm not particularly concerned about flash flooding, but again, we'll have to watch and see how this all evolves with time. And again, in the bigger picture, this is what we had been talking about all day, this band right here taking shape and developing during the late day hours, and that being sort of the main event, if you will, as the event unfolds overnight tonight and tomorrow. Okay, so back to the slides here, and essentially no major changes here. The primary threat will be prolonged heavy rain, flash flooding possibilities tonight through Thursday. But as all that rain falls into the river system, there will be some river flooding possible as early as tomorrow. That river threat may linger through the weekend. Wind gusts 30 to 40 miles per hour could lead to scattered power outages and downed trees tonight through Thursday. And then isolated tornadoes are possible through Thursday. Greatest threat centered along the I-95 corridor, but the overall threat could be as far west as the Triangle region. So, and we've already seen some tornado damage across portions of the coastal plain earlier today. We had a tornado touchdown in southern Sampson County and resulted in some damage to some homes. I saw one home with a roof basically tore off. So anyway, that's the type of, but again, very isolated damage of that magnitude. So not uncommon with tropical cyclones, particularly to the right or east of the center. All right, so pretty much everything you see here, I've already elaborated. Wind, flooding, rains, and tornado threat again tonight through Friday, through Thursday, I should say. And here's our threat levels again. River flooding and flooding rains, flash flooding are our main concerns. Obviously, wind and tornado is also a concern, but to a lesser extent. All right, so what about the radar simulations? This is a sort of a fresher version of what I showed earlier, a latest version. And there's been some subtle tweaks to this. Let me point out a few things here. Again, this is all starting off with current radar. Again, keep this in mind. This is live current conditions. So how's that band across southeast North Carolina going to evolve with time? Well, as I've been advertising pretty much all day, it's going to lift north and expand. This is 9 p.m. tonight. This is by midnight. We have that band expanding to the north through the triangle and affecting the southern coastal plain and southern Piedmont over toward Wadesboro. And then by the middle of the night, it's really going to get going and expand further, pretty much covering much of central North Carolina. And then by daybreak, that heavy rain band will pivot westward to the western, more towards the western Piedmont, including the Triad, and that is valid at 6 a.m. on this time frame. By 9 a.m. tomorrow, just more in the way of waves of rain lifting north and northwest across central North Carolina. That'll continue through midday tomorrow. So again, subtle tweaks to compared to what I showed earlier, but the same idea is that the that primary band to our south now will expand and basically pivot north and northwestward through the night tonight, with additional scattered bands and pockets of rain moving across central North Carolina through the morning and afternoon tomorrow. Here is at 3 p.m. tomorrow. It's starting to scatter out, becoming a little more scattered in nature, and then that trend will continue through 6 and 9 p.m. tomorrow evening, becoming much more widely scattered. And then look overnight tomorrow night, you can see it really just gradually winds down. By 11 a.m. Friday, it's pretty much out of here. It's over, and sunshine returning by Friday afternoon. Okay, so again, no major changes here compared to what I been showing all day. And again, these slides are posted to our website at weather.gov/Raleigh. And for those on our email list, you'll have that in your inbox. Again, a slight tweak to these amounts. Additional rainfall amounts, we're expecting 3 to 6 inches across the northern half of central North Carolina, with 4 to 8 inches across the southern half of central North Carolina. The northern I-95 corridor up toward Roanoke Rapids, Rocky Mount could see up to 3 inches of rain. But again, keep in mind, rainfall of this magnitude can result in flash flooding during times of heavy downpours, heavy rates. Remember, it's not so much how much, it's how fast over short durations of time that result in flash flooding. Okay, so slight downward tweak to this. The good news is, with that slight downward tweak, we've also tweaked down the extent and magnitude of a river flooding. So you can see the Haw River, we basically have moderate flooding, but just barely, and Deep River near Moncure, minor flooding expected there. The Cape Fear and Little Rivers, those have come down with mainly just minor flooding for Lillington and Fayetteville. We do have moderate flooding at the Little River at Manchester, but again, those of all have trended down during the day today. Again, river flooding is river flooding. We still need to be cognizant and aware of it. And obviously things could change as rainfall amounts become more localized. The Rocky River, we have that still a major flood peaking tomorrow during the afternoon and evening, and then minor flooding at Lewisburg, and then down in Sampson County, Black River near Tomahawk. Earlier today we had that in major flooding, but now it looks like we're going to just keep that at moderate, peaking at just under 22 feet there on Saturday. So that's good news for Sampson County. The Neuse River, again, these are all tweaked down. So for our friends in Johnston County, certainly minor flooding is much better than what we were showing earlier. I think earlier we were showing almost major, if not barely in major at Smithfield. That's come down quite a bit now, just expecting minor flooding in Smithfield. and taking a while to get down to Goldsboro, but minor flooding expected there as well. Okay, so this is a trend towards improvement, right? Better overall in that we're now only expecting minor flooding on the Neuse River. All right, that's good news. All right, what about the winds? Again, remember I said when this band of rain that I've been showing here, this is real-time radar, when that band of rain lifts north, we could see gusts in the 30 to 40 mile per hour range, and that's basically what we're depicting here. 20 to 30 will be common with the heavier bands, but a few higher gusts up to 30 are possible. Scattered power outages and down trees will be possible, especially given the soaked ground. Again, no changes there. That tornado threat again. Gosh, if you saw earlier today, if you were following along, that was quite a tornado touchdown in southern Sampson County near Harrells. We had that nicely covered with a tornado warning with plenty of lead time, but it doesn't always happen that way. Tropical cyclone tornadoes generally spin up very quickly, providing not a whole lot of lead time. So again, but be ready if you do get a tornado warning on your cell phone to take immediate action. Tomorrow you'll see that the tornado threat will continue, perhaps as far west as almost to Greensboro, but really the core concern being the I-95 corridor, perhaps back towards the triangle for that severe weather isolated tornado threat on Thursday. Okay. All right, so I tweaked basically everything I've alluded to has allowed me to tweak this a little bit to tighten this up. Again, one thing, the biggest change you'll notice is that the end times have ended sooner for wind, sooner for rain, and sooner for the tornado threat. So that by Friday we're pretty much clear with the wind threat. By pretty much early Friday we're clear of the rain and flash flooding threat. And we'll be done with the tornado threat pretty much by later tomorrow, clearing that out. What will remain is the risk for river flooding, because it just takes a while for that water to get collecting in the main stem river system. So we have that painted red and orange basically through the weekend. Obviously, we'll be adjusting that as the need exists. So. All right, so that pretty much wraps up this briefing here for 5:30 on this Wednesday afternoon. Again, just to kind of button it all up. Again, the flash flood threat and river flood threat are the main threats. Again, there could be some down trees and power outages and isolated tornadoes, delivering just isolated instances of more intense damage. Again, all of these risks tonight through Thursday, with things rapidly improving on Friday. So anyway, we'll be updating this briefing slide package and sending it out as needed. So that is a wrap for this particular briefing here on this Wednesday afternoon.